head guy.
Mate, don't worry about that. You've got so many people.
Didn't say licks, I thought it was leaves.
No, Danny Hutchinson, nice long name.
Danny Hutchinson.
Actually renewed. I've got my 3-month membership badge this week. So how about that?
Yeah. Call out.
Thank you very much.
Right, let's get on. Let's get this show on the road, Teddy. Expensive technology, the good old towel.
Absolutely.
Does the job.
Nikos, you thinking 23 or 5?
At the moment, it's still 2-3.
Right.
I'll check again.
Foxtrot.
Yeah, still 2-3.
Okay.
Ladies, gents and teddy bears, a very good morning to you all. Good evening, good afternoon, good day, good morning, wherever you're watching from in the world. It's your one and only Ted Coningsby channel, live here at one of your favourite base and place. It is RAF Lakenheath, home of the 48 Fighter Wing and home to 4 combat ready squadrons, along with an array of trades such as the 48th Medical Group, the 48th Communications. How are we all doing? And I hope you're all good and well. Welcome to the show. Crew chiefs, fighter generation squadrons, maintenance squadrons, SF, OSI, all the security forces. How you doing? Ellie, Dask, what up? How we doing? All the maintenance crews, communications, RAPCon, and all trades that I've missed out. A very warm welcome from all of us on the other side of the fence. Hope you're all good. There we go. And we do have startups, and there is a C-17 nearby. I haven't had confirmation. There's our squadron leader Ted Coningsby on the controls. How you doing, Teddy? Just checking ADSB. Well, I'll tell you what we'll do, so you know when to find it. And a very special happy birthday to Danny Hutchinson here. Here he is, Danny. Happy birthday to Danny.
Oi oi.
Oi oi. And what a birthday place to be. That's awesome. So welcome, Danny, and thanks for letting us know about how you discovered the channel in the field, and quote unquote saw this guy with the teddy bear. Oh, he's live. What's all that about? It does make me smile. It does make me chuckle. If you discovered the channel in real life and thought, what is going on here, then let us know in the comments, because I can understand. But you know what? It's what sets us apart from anyone else, to make it a little bit of a fun military aviation channel. And you know how fun aviation is anyway. Add a few more bears, and I'll tell you what, if someone told me that was the recipe to a fun, successful channel, then I'd probably be thinking, no, I don't think so. But it is actually a reality. Ladies, gents, teddy bears, welcome to the Ted Coningsby channel, your much loved military aviation channel. How we're doing? No idea what's going on with the hair there. It's got a bit of sproutage going on here. Yeah, I'll just go with it. So welcome to the show. And yes, as I finished yesterday at Hull Beach Air Weapons Range, a place to bring your aircraft to blow up and shoot stuff, I had a call around 5 o'clock in the afternoon, and literally after the stream, to give me the go-ahead for Eastbourne. And I felt, you know, I literally said that day, someone said, Nikos, are you going to Eastbourne? Which is a great question, because it is an air show. Am I going? And I did put, unfortunately, no. But this is how things are. Lastminute.com, literally, with the help of one of our friends as well, had a call from a manager to say, you're more welcome to get set up on a roof. So there we go. So wow. So I will be finishing here. I'm actually probably not what you want to hear, but I'm hoping for a quick finish, because I do need to head to Eastbourne, and trying to find accommodation Eastbourne on an airshow weekend is very difficult, but I did manage to find it. Yes, so a little tent on the beach. Just kidding. No, I did manage to find accommodation, so a big shout out to all those involved, and I'll explain yesterday and put a massive shout out to this place for arranging that, especially last minute, literally emailing each other throughout the evening to sort out arrangements. It's not a case of racking up and stacking up. There's a whole lot of safety aspects as well, public liability insurance, all that kind of stuff that you probably don't want to hear, but these are the things. This is why it's a lot of emailing going on to get approvals and stuff like that. So welcome to RAF Lakenheath, welcome to the home of the 48th Fighter Wing, the only wing of the United States Air Force with a name as well as their number. And for those that don't know, you know how it goes. It's all because in 1952 they were activated as a wing. Before that they were a group from 1945 when they became inactive. After the Second World War they got wing status in 1952, but they were activated at Chaumont Air Base, and it's very close to the Baffoldi's workshop, which is the very place the Statue of Liberty was designed and built, and that's why. There you go. Only about 20-30 miles away. It's near Paris, around there, that Chaumont region. So yeah, I'm just checking to see what's happening with our C-17 here. I don't know. Kind of needs to turn. Let's have a look. Anyway, how are we doing? Hope we're good. So that's that. So we are going to Eastbourne for the weekend. We'll cover Saturday and Sunday, all being well. Haven't done any checks or anything, so it may not even work. I hope it does, fingers crossed. It should do. I'll do my best to make it work. How's that? But I'll be there anyway. Haven't been able to have a recce. First time doing that at this particular place. And we'll keep you posted on all the details as well. So there we go. The engines that you can hear, this lovely tone, are the Pratt & Whitney F-135 PW100 engines. Now they're applied to the F-35A that are based here. There are 4 combat-ready squadrons: the 492nd Fighter Squadron, the Mad Hatters, locally known as the Bowlers. Okay, the Bowlers there, wearing the bowler hat, and they fly the F-15E Strike Eagle, guns up. And next up we got the 493rd Fighter Squadron, the Grim Reapers. They've got a long history, extending from World War II, becoming a major squadron. Also the 493rd, when they were the Expeditionary Fighter Squadron in the times of Operation Allied Force, taking out 4 MiG-29s in a space of 72 hours. How cool. And they do have a canopy here for a trophy. They've flown the mostest of a variety of aircraft, I believe, around 19 or 20 different variants of aircraft they've flown in their career. Activated just like the other 4 squadrons in 1941, 15th of January. Yeah, 15th of January for those that would like to know. They're the Grim Reapers. They're the latest to fly the F-35A here. They activated as an F-35A squadron in 2022. Next up is the 494 Fighter Squadron, the finest, meanest, baddest. Hopefully I got that right this time. They are the Panthers. They fly the F-15E Strike Eagle. What up? Bleed red. And last but not least, making Lakenheath the very first USAFE wing to operate the F-35A. Let's have a look. Ooh. Thanks for that. Yeah, I don't think it's coming in, that C-17. Thanks, Perry, for confirming that. It is quite high. Yeah, last but not least, the 495th Fighter Squadron. They've been inactive for 2 occasions, as in full stretch occasions, of totaling of 63 years. 133 years when they became inactive in 1944. They were active for about 3 years. Last aircraft to operate was the P-47 Thunderbolt in 1944, and they became inactive. Didn't get to see the didn't actually come to the European Theatre of Operations, but they did establish themselves here when Lakenheath's 48 Fighter Wing arrived here in 1960. They activated here with the F-111 Aardvark from 1977. They were actually called the Thundervarks, by the way, for your info, but in 1991, they actually became inactive again as they were replacing and retiring the F-111 Aardvarks with the F-15s eventually. So 30 years later, 15th of December 2021, arriving here at Lakenheath, the 495th became the very first USAFE unit to operate the F-35A. The stealthiest, meanest, most advanced and the largest engine of any fighter jet, 43,000 pounds. It is the largest single engined, most powerful engine that I know of in the world, that we know of, if you know what I mean. So 43,000 pounds of thrust on that Pratt & Whitney F135 PW100. They are the Valkyries now. They're not called the Thundervarks anymore. They had the Thundervark nickname. I've been tracing their history. You know me, been looking at different squadron badges and so on. Looked like they were once the maybe the Flying Tigers or Flying Cats, maybe. I've been chasing it up because they did start off life in 1941 as the 9th Reconnaissance and then moved to the B-18 Bolo, which they were renumbered as the 88th Bomb Squadron Light, but then they became the 495th Bomb Squadron. But after that was it. So a little bit of history. Maybe it's a trip for me to the US. Maybe if I go to the United States Air Force Museum archives, maybe I'll be able to find out all the info that I need. But as far as the 48 Fighter Group are concerned in World War II, I did see that the Panthers looked like they had a bomb with a panther on it, so that is a tick. The Grim Reapers, what looked like they had a Grim Reaper on there of some description. I could see it's really black and white pixelated photo, but it looks like what looks like a Grim Reaper face, possibly. So that's, I'm going to put that as a tick. The Mad Hatters, possibly looks like some sort of eagle with a bomb. I'm not too sure. Mad Hatters, but I will keep digging for that one. And like I said, the 495th, I think it looks like a cat on a bomb. With glasses, so reconnaissance, that might make sense, but I'll keep checking for you. You know how it is. There's our catwalk. The catwalk, a Ted Coningsby official vocab for this taxiway. That's right, that's where you heard it first. We named it the catwalk because aircraft strut their stuff down here. On the right, that well, actually, officially it's called a taxiway, but we call it the catwalk. On our right, the other taxiway, we do call that the Warrior Walk, named after the Lakenheath warrior. Oh yeah, that C-17 is definitely not coming here, is it?
Over, didn't it? It's gone
yeah, Bryce or Fairford maybe.
Yeah.
Clear skies, absolutely clear. Not a lot of wind today. And if you just joined us, don't forget to hit the like button, do your Ted Coningsby checklist. Hit the like button, give us a thumbs up. It does help if all our viewers give us a thumbs up. It does help YouTube get tickled a little bit and hopefully get us promoted into the world of Up Next or recommended. Also, do think about subscribing to your one and only Ted Coningsby channel as well. That does help our channel grow and grow and grow, and sets us apart from other communities. Do give us a subscribe and marry that up with the notification bell button as well, so you don't miss out on the latest and greatest live streams and videos. And sharing is caring, right? So if you'd like to share the channel or share the stream, you can do so by hitting the share button on just below, the little arrow that's swirling. You can click that button to share it. And if you are in need of Ted Coningsby retail therapy, we've got a selection of t-shirts, badges, patches, key tags, key rings, hoodies, stickers, well, vinyl graphics for your vehicle. Visit tedconingsby.co.uk. So the biggest, as in thrust, the most powerful engine applied to the F-35A. This is the A variant. Yes, there are 3 variants out there, but this is the A variant, and it's equipped with the F-135 PW100. It measures at a whopping 5.59 meters. Now, just to put that into perspective, the F-15's engine, the F-100 PW229, measures at 4.85 meters, and the Eurojet 200 in the Typhoon is 3.98. And it's got a 3-stage fan, so that's a 3-stage low pressure. Look at this, here we go. And a 6-stage high pressure compressor, compressing air at the rate of 28 to 1. So 28 cubic centimeters is equivalent to 1, or at least compressed to 1. That is amazing. Absolute squish. Bypass at 0.57 to 1, punching out a total of 43,000 pounds of thrust on that just one single engine. Empty weight at 29,000 pounds. Now, I know you can't fly without any fuel in it, but do the maths. 50% fuel, I think it's got a 1.07 thrust to weight ratio, which is great. But of course, for an operational reason, you wouldn't really want to fly with just 50% fuel unless you're heading straight to the tanker to fill up, which is actually something they do anyway, thinking about it, because what you want to do is go on a mission with full fuel, because when you take off you use fuel anyway. So it's not uncommon to see on an operational level for fighter aircraft to take off, go straight to the tanker to fill up. That is a fact. Well, this looks good. Looks like the thumbnail. This does look like the thumbnail. Look at this. Here comes trouble, absolutely. So the F-35 is just awaiting for clearance, so they're just holding on the EOR, which is stands for end of runway. Can hold up to 6 aircraft. There's 2 on this side and 2 at the other end, so at runway 05 as well. So being the last day of the week, we could see what's called a quick climb or an unrestricted climb. They're both the same. Don't forget, unrestricted is not all about the altitude, it's about climb rate. And what we're going to hopefully expect to see is the F-35 whacking on that afterburner full thrust. Maintain altitudes right down the runway, anywhere between 60 and 120 feet. And then once cleared the entire runway, they would have reached speeds of about 385 miles per hour, but depends on the pilot. And then the pilot will pull back the stick and go into a vertical climb. Now, there's a bit of physics involved here, which is why they do this. You see, the Typhoon has a much higher thrust to weight ratio. It is a lighter aircraft with 40,000 pounds of thrust, but it's able to accelerate vertically because of its entirety of weight is very little as opposed to the F-35A. But there's a way around it. You can defy gravity with a bit of physics and a bit of velocity behind you. With 385 miles per hour behind you, you'll be up literally like a rocket. G's pulled 5 to 6. How high do they go? It depends how high they've been cleared by air traffic controllers. So they have a limit to how high they can climb, but that's set by ATC. So if you hear flight level 150, that's 15,000 feet. If you hear flight level 170, 17,000 feet. On any flight level, just to give you an idea of altitude, just add 2 zeros. So flight level 60, 6,000 feet. So you can't just go out and do a unrestricted or quick climb. You can't just do that. Even a performance takeoff. You see, you are having an aircraft that's unrestricted, as in climb rate. It's going super quick. It's going fast. The thrust is challenging if you've got traffic above. You can't just go out and do it. And in the emoji, or in the meme that was made for me, one simply cannot do a quick climb. If you've seen that Lord of the Rings take of me, I think it was made by Dr. Soda, one simply cannot do a quick climb. You have to request it. All climbs are on request, and you have to get them cleared by Tower, so you can't just go out and do it. Reasons behind that is because you have traffic around you. Reasons for doing it, okay, on an operational level, it could be to clear barriers. It could be to get to an altitude very quickly. And on an operational level, to get out of Dodge quick. And also on a defensive point of view, if your runway has been attacked and you need to get to an altitude in a more tactical manner, then you can establish and execute a quick climb or an unrestricted climb. If your thrust to weight ratio is anything like the Typhoon, you only need 8 seconds to get off the ground. Good. Here we go, let's ride. that more I can hear? Yes. So I can hear more F-35s in the background, so sounds like we may have more departures coming up. Thanks for tuning in today, ladies, gents and teddy bears. Before our adventures, I may have just caught an F-35 probably about to cross the runway, so I'll keep my eyes peeled over there. Yes, there it is. So this time crossing the runway. Oh, look at the two hairs. Look at them. Here comes trouble. There's one, and there's two. So we've got two more F-35s. There we go. So we'll see them in just a moment. Okay, that's good. So two more then. That sounds good to me. Haven't heard any F-15E Strike Eagles start up yet, so hopefully we get some of them as well, because I know a lot of you love the F-15E, and I don't blame you. There's our F-35A, an absolute beauty, and it is a 5th generation stealth fighter, ladies, gents and teddy bears. For those that are new, we'll be given a full tour of all aircraft, old and new, past and present, of course, because you know how I do things, you know how I do it, you know how it is there now. But it is a beautiful, beautiful stealth 5th generation. And if you're not familiar with radar cross-section, because that is literally what it's all about, and the 3 main variants as well and how they differ. One thing I will add, the F-35A does have an arrestor hook here. All right, it's got the arrestor hook here. The B doesn't have it, and we'll talk about the C's arrestor hook because it's a little bit different. But it does have, the C variant does have one, being a carrier variant, but the F-35A does have one. The F-35A is the only variant with an internal fitted cannon, 3,300 rounds per minute of this beautiful GAU 22 cannon, GAU 22A. The other variants can have an external one fitted to the middle. Now, it's all about radar cross-section. Do you remember what that I spoke to you about? It's what comes back to the radar. It's what comes back from the primary radar. Radio waves sent to the aircraft, and it's waiting for something to come back. Now, normally, you'd expect an aircraft the size of an aircraft to be pinged back to the radar, which then transmits to the air traffic controller. Not on this, because it has many ways of just bringing back a very weak signal, a size of probably a small bird or a golf ball, something like that, a tennis ball, maybe about that. And don't forget, stealth does not mean invisible. It's all to do with radar cross-section. How do you get around that? Well, there's lots of methods you can do it. Probably won't get time to show you just now, but one is the radar absorbing material. In the paint, patented by Lockheed Martin, are bits of iron that actually absorbs the radio frequencies from radar. All right, absorbs them, so that's not going to work for the radar and to pop up, so it's done quite well. You'll see all these serrations. Radar likes to go and hit a flat surface as it spreads and come back. Not here, which is what all these zigzags and serrations, even down to the weapons bay. Look at that, zigzags. The back of the nozzle where there's loads of heat, zigzags. In fact, this just distributes those radar frequencies that don't get absorbed everywhere else. It really has a hard time. The canopy, made out of acrylic. The EOTS, the electro-optical targeting system. The battlefield system here, made out of sapphire. A low radar cross-section, very low. On the Moss scale of hardness of minerals, it's 9 on the scale. If you think diamond is 10, sapphire is 9. So it's also got radar absorbing tape. It's all that. And here comes our F-35 now in Q. You can see the GAU-22 cannon there, look at that. And we've captured that fire before, which was delicious. Notice that the nose is not fully rounded. Look, it's got a ridge from the nose tip all the way to the intakes. That's a characteristic of stealth fighters. It's to stop the radio waves going all the way around and coming back. The stabilizers, the fins are angled to not create a 90-degree angle. It is taller than the B variant, believe it or not, because if I remember correctly, I think the B variant has had a bit of weight reduction to it, because it is heavy. It is heavy. The F-35A, stats-wise, all 3 variants are Mach 1.6. With a length of 51.4 feet, that's 15.7 meters. It's about 10 centimeters longer than the B variant. Now the B variant is a Stovall version, all right? It's got the Rolls-Royce lift system and the lift fan and all the other bits and pieces, all the attributes that make up the wonderful Stovall variant, the F-35B. It doesn't have an arrestor hook, the F-35B, and it's got 3,000 pound less on weapons payload. Standard on the A and the C at 18,000 pounds, the B variant at 15. Max takeoff weight on the A and C are 70,000, the B is 60. Range of 12,000 nautical miles on the A and C, the B variant 900. Here we go. Oh, hello, there we go. So you can see all the on that front loading, sorry, the front nose gear, all the zigzag serrations going on. Not sure what's going on here. This doesn't look good. No, maybe just swapping. Okay. Just giving us a show of what I've just spoken about. That makes sense. Now the C variant is very different to the A and the B. Very different, because it's a carrier variant. You can call it the CV variant, carrier variant. And it's to do with the wingspan that's completely large. The A and the B have a wingspan of 35 feet. That's 10.7 meters. Which is a little bit less than a Typhoon. But the C variant is 43 feet, That's 13.1 meters. It's the wing area, and the reason is the bigger your wing area, the bigger the lift, and you're going to need that on a carrier variant. It's so big, it's about 4 foot either side, so about 1.2 meters wider in wingspan, so it's about here, and it's so big it's the only variant to have the it's got wing flaps as well. The front nose gear is a twin axle, so it's got two of these, but more importantly, the stress is on carrier jets. The airframe has been strengthened to cope with the stresses on the carrier, especially the front nose gear, so when it gets pulled by the catapult mechanism as well. It does have a special hook. It's not like your arrestor hook you get on the A variant. It is different. The canopy, by the way, on all the 3 variants can appear either blue or orange. It is being coated by a special electro-absorbing and radar-absorbing material as well. So, but from the inside, they look exactly the same. Dun, dun, dun. LN tail code for Lakenheath, and has been that way since 1973. The A variant, I forgot to say, has the mostest G pulling tolerance on the airframe, +9 on the A variant, +7 on the B, and +7.5 on the C. So you may see aircraft waiting for any length of time, from a couple of minutes to seconds to half an hour to, I think our most this was an hour 45. Could be for various reasons. They could be waiting for another aircraft to join them. Maybe not from here, maybe an F-15, maybe another F-35 in their flight. They could be waiting for a particular tanker. If they were going to do red air, which is basically two teams, blue and red, to do aerial combat in teams, and the other two have gone tech or whatever, you know what I'm going with this, or the tanker that we're going to meet, you know, if their particular training was going to do air-to-air refueling and that tanker went tech, they need to then file another flight plan to do something else. They can't just fly anywhere they want. They do need to request where they're going, because that's the subject of aircraft management, civilian or not. There could be troubleshooting. There could be an error message on the aircraft. There could be just troubleshooting the aircraft. There are basically numerous reasons. There could be an aircraft coming into land, so it's better for it to wait. It could be a C-17 coming into land. They need to configure the cables for the C-17 to land here, and then they need to put it back. It could be an emergency aircraft coming in. Just don't know. Jojo, how you doing? Aspen, Davey, Gucci man. Hope we're all good. Just a quick one inside, something I don't mention that often. Inside this wonderful nose in the radome, the antennas, there's about 1,600 of them, and they all point in this direction, upwards. Why? Well, radar's always trying to find it. You don't really get many radars pointing downwards. So although a Lockheed Martin aircraft, there are components that are made by Northrop Grumman, including the centre fuselage, if you didn't know that, the ANAPG-81, the ASA radar that I was just talking about, the communication subsystems, and also they provide the sustainment support for the EODAS. Now that stands for electro-optical and infrared sensors. So it gives basically a 24/7 view of battle space to deliver the effects with unprecedented precision. It's all about precision with this. So the ANAPG-81 radar, that's in the nose. Like I said, it points, I don't know, about 45 degrees at an angle. There's about 1,600 tiny little, they're like little mini radars in there. And it's a combat-proven AESA. And it can suppress and destroy the most advanced enemy air defenses. Check that out. Oh, nice one. Thanks a lot there, Perry. The first, that one there, the 195473, the one with the 48 fighter wing markings. That was the first to arrive, right, on the 15th of December. So that made history, this aircraft to Lakenheath. Thanks, Perry, for that info. Nice. Just a little bit more about the EODAS. That's 360 degrees of protective sphere of situational awareness for the F-35 pilots. Here he is. Oi, oi, you right, man?
Yeah, how are you?
Good, thank you. All good, man. Everyone is good. How are you, man? All right.
Not bad, not bad.
Oh, F-15. What's that?
Looking after the shoulder. Yeah.
But apart from that,
Nice one, man.
how many did that go so far?
4.
4.
Yep. They've only just started, really. So
Yeah, I
you're
was
in
just
that-
going to say, we
you've only just missed 4, and
Yeah.
and they won't quick run, so you're all right. You're all right. There we go.
Were they using Warrior Warfare?
These 2 did, but the other 4 didn't. They came down this way. So, cool. Now it's time for some F-15E Strike Eagle action. Now they arrived in 1992 here at Lakenheath with the 494th and the 492nd fighter squadrons. And Lakenheath really became an Eagle county. Look how tall those stabilizers are. Look at them. up for some sweep action now.
Sweep on.
Oh yes,
Sweep on.
sweep on. There's more. Beautiful. The legacy lives on, of well over 50 years legacy with this. An answer to the Foxbat, an answer to develop something on from the F-100D Super Sabre. Started life out back in the 60s as its first proposal, the McDonnell Douglas F-15 single-seater, the F-15 Eagle, the air superiority fighter. It emerged from the FX program, first proposed to the United States Air Force in the 60s as a follow-on to the North American F-100D and an answer to, well, the Foxbat. They were trying to beat records of supersonic speeds that were set, and in the course of the program of the FX design proposals was sought from 3 manufacturers at the time. Of course we know who got the deal, but McDonnell Douglas, North American Rockwell and Fairchild Hillier were in the running, and in December 1969 it was McDonnell Douglas that got the go-ahead to have the prime airframe contractor to them. And the winning design, of course, was the single-seat fixed-wing aircraft, and it had a thrust-to-weight ratio in excess of 1:1. It contained extremely advanced avionics for its time, and at the time was going to be armed with a very different cannon, the 25mm Philco Ford GAU-7A multi-barrel cannon, but they abandoned that idea and went with the General Electric's M61A Vulcan cannon, which we still have today, a whopping 6,000 rounds per minute beast. And the F-15 was to be powered by 2 Pratt & Whitney F-100s, and of course today on these they're the PW229s, 28,000 pounds of thrust each today. They're a little bit less on the earliest periods. I think it was something like 22,000 pounds of thrust on the earlier ones, but there we go. Maybe 25. We'll go with 25. Final answer. Now 25,000 pounds of thrust in their afterburning turbofans. Actually, that sounds a bit better. And the when the contract was developed for 20 to be ordered, it comprised of 18 single-seaters, and there was a family version one as well, a TF-15A, which eventually was designated as the F-15B. And that was at St. Louis. The first F-15A was transported to Edwards Air Force Base, and it was flown for the first time, its maiden flight, and that happened on July the 27th, 1972. And it was flown by Irving Burroughs, and the first flight, or the maiden flight, of the TF-15A, as we said, changed to F-15B, that was made in July the next year. The first deliveries were delivered to the 555 Tactical Fighter Training Wing at Luke Air Force Base, Arizona, and in November 1974 that was followed by other squadrons of the 58th Tactical Fighter Training Wing, and from January 76 by the 1st Tactical Fighter Wing. Oh yeah, and that was at Langley Air Force Base, Virginia. And that is. Now, following those deliveries of the 404th Eagle in June 1979, the US Air Force began the next stage, the C&D models, the first of which flew in February 26, 1979. And then eventually we have this, the F-15E Strike Eagle, available in the family version. It has a WISO in the back, a weapon systems operator, and of course the pilot, but it is dual controlled as well. First flight of the F-15E was 11th of December 1986. Of course, it's still going on. We've got the Boeing F-15EX Eagle, we've got the F-15 SA and the QA and other variants. Now, if you look at the very tall stabilizers that they have here, that can only mean one thing: maximum speed, and these can certainly do it. Mach 2.5, that means 1,650 miles per hour. Oh yeah. Got a good service ceiling of 60,000 plus 9G rating. One of the questions I get asked is, can the F-15E Super Cruise? Sort of. It's not been designed like the F-22 to Super Cruise, but with some reductions and configuration it can achieve a Super Cruise under specific conditions. So no external storage, so drop tanks, a little bit clean basically, it could achieve that. And the reasons behind that is drag. It is our tallest of fighter aircraft that we have here in the UK. Our tallest fighter, sitting at 5.64 meters. And the surprise second goes to the Typhoon, believe it or not, sitting at 5.28 meters.
Nicholas, you got enough to drink?
Yeah, thank you.
you're
Yes.
right with them, yeah.
Oh, yes, thank you. How we're doing, ladies, gents, teddy bears? Hope we're all good. Welcome to the Ted Coningsby channel. We're live here at RAF Lakenheath, and we've got a nice portion of F-15E Strike Eagles on the EOR ready to go out. Now you'll notice that they do post-taxi checks. This is unique to the 48 Fighter Wing operations, to the F-15E Strike Eagles. The F-35s do that back at the hangars.
Boss, is that only something that they do here with 48? That Lakenheath, or do they do that elsewhere?
It's a very good question. I'll tell you what, I'll go abroad and find out. That'd be a good one, wouldn't it?
It will be.
That is a good, no, it's a good question.
Yeah.
When I've seen the SJ tails, I know they park here, but I don't think they do anything with them.
Yeah.
I think they do all that at the hangar, I think. I'll have to look back at some of my old videos, but
I just thought, yeah, I wonder if it's just specific
Yeah.
to 48. Yeah.
yes, so I'm thinking I'm going to look back, because I'm pretty sure the other tails that were here were having it all done. Well, the F-16s weren't. Do you remember
No,
when they
yeah,
were over
no,
there?
they were over there,
So
yeah.
it's an F-15 thing, but I think it's specific to here. But I think some of the wings, maybe this is a guess now, I think it's just a different way of operating. I think it's a Lakenheath specific,
Yeah.
but I'm with all the wings in the world, I would have thought maybe there's another one.
Yeah.
But I'm going to look back. It's interesting because I don't think the SJ tails got their servicing
The
here.
runway, so they were done.
So they got their own way of
Yeah,
doing it.
yeah.
I also found, I'll tell you what I can tell you, was it the SJs that were here last, or the MOs? The
Yeah.
MOs, their distancing from taking off was different to here. I was getting it wrong. So I'm so used to their distancing in takeoff.
Yes, yeah.
It's completely different. They were a little bit more close together. And I was like, whoa, because I went too far.
Yeah.
I kept doing it all the time, so I'm so used to it.
Thank you.
So, yeah, no worries, mate. We'll have to have a look. Maybe I'm intrigued to find out what they do in, like, at Langley or something. I don't know. At the
I mean, it's going to be different.
Seymour Johnson, rather.
Yeah.
I'd like to see what they do at Seymour Johnson. Yeah, I'll have to have a look.
Sounds like a
Should we go for a holiday? Yeah, let's go.
You need a holiday.
That'd be cool.
Research.
Yeah, there you go. Or if anyone knows, if anyone is familiar with Seymour Johnson, let us know. All right, here we go. It's F-15 Strike Eagle time. Let's ride. Right, rack 'em. And of course today is a very special day, an 80th anniversary of Victory over Japan Day, or VJ Day, Victory in the Pacific Day as well. It's a day in which Imperial Japan surrendered in World War II. The effect bringing the end to the war. Japan's surrender, the initial announcement was on the 15th of August 1945, that's 80 years ago. Lest we forget, ladies, gents and teddy bears, if we're still live by midday, there'll be a 2-minute silence. And I watched a film called Unbroken, actually, kind of related to that, about the prisoners of war, what they went through during that time. And I'll never forget the end scene. I was on the edge of my seat. I was absolutely on the edge of what was going to happen to these airmen on, you know, in these, it was like a coal, they were digging coal, and I'll never forget that scene with the B-29 going over, doing the wing wave, just sort of giving the idea that it's all going to be fine, it's over. Very moving film. I'm just going to go and grab some water. Keep hydrated. Noise you can hear, that's, in simple terms, that's the effect of opening and closing the exhaust nozzles. And the reason why you see it move and then the sound is the distance that we're at. We're about a quarter of a mile away from where they would be on the runway, maybe nearly half a mile right up to the EOR, but that's the speed of sound for you. And it's the opening and closing of pneumatic using the SKIM, the conversion exhaust nozzle control, pushing air, and makes a freak sound. There you go, look, watch this. Look at the nozzles and then a freak. Alrighty then, here we go. You don't always get them, do bear that in mind. It is, weather does get the final say. And, the first 4 didn't do quick climbs. It's not a requirement. Said they've gone, mate. Well, there we go. A nice start to the morning, because I think that's all we're going to get this morning, you know. It's just my guess, which is not too bad for me because I do need to make tracks to Eastbourne. I've got to head back, get the kit, and head down south, innit?
Or yourself?
Yeah. Alright, let's go and swap a battery. Hello, how you doing? All right? Hello.
They can see you at Old Buckingham, didn't they?
Yeah, how did you enjoy it? Apart from the rain.
I know.
Were you there on the
quite,
Saturday?
Yeah, we were quite lucky because we managed to get him for free on the Sunday.
Oh, did you?
Yeah, I messaged him and said it was a bit disappointed. They said it's popped up to give you a free pass.
Oh, nice. That was nice of them. Oh, that was good. Oh, lovely. That's nice. Have a good one.
And you?
Yeah, I love the plane. That's cool, isn't it?
He spotted your red arrow. Is that
Oh,
the Lego
yeah.
from Lidl's?
Ah,
Is that from Lidl's, the Lego one?
it's an Airfix one.
Yeah?
Yeah. Right, it's well, I hope you enjoyed that first wave, but I've got a feeling it may be the only wave. But no worries, it's good to see quick climbs. That's what we're here for, really, aren't we? Really, come on. You know, we always hope for it. But always have in the back of your mind, though, it's not guaranteed. Okay, so just go cautiously. You never know, we might get some circuits as well.
Must have changed his battery.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Oh really? Was it that long? Yeah, there weren't any wasps.
Remember to get a lighter, because I've got this Citroen Elephant, I hate it,
Yes.
but I don't have a lighter.
No.
What I could do is just put it here somewhere and just...
That's a good idea actually. Trouble is, the direction you want in it, you know what would happen, don't you?
Yeah.
It's going straight across runway.
Yeah, true. Oh yeah, how you doing? All right?
Your car?
Yes, boys, that's right.
Yeah, you're like,
Hello.
Hello.
Oh, thank you.
Yes, I appreciate
Well, he cares about his car as well. So.
Oh, cool, nice one.
Oh, he would be too happy if I damaged his door either. So. You're right, John.
Oh, that's cool. Oh,
Thank you.
let me save that caterpillar before it gets run over.
Oh. Yeah, I'll get him out of the way. Bring it.
There you go, mate. You sit. Oh yeah, I don't think you can miss that. Look at the size of it.
Go and get a drink. I think so.
Oh, I don't know. I don't know. Nah. Oh, look at that. Doing its defence. It's fun, isn't it? It's got a whole surrounding of grass and greenery. But it chooses the car. Thanks, man. You're a hero. Thank you.
I'm a fan of caterpillars.
Yeah. You know, they make butterflies and stuff, so we need them. Yeah, they are cool. That one's a cool one. I remember them. Is that the orange and black one? The orange and... I remember them when I was a kid. Yeah, fascinate me. I'm good. I've got a bit. So, right, let's do some housekeeping. Here we go. Right, ladies, gents, teddy bears, welcome to the Ted Coningsby channel. So we are in the official aircraft viewing area, and there's plenty of parking. And if you're struggling for parking, well, actually, wow, the whole road leads up to the car park. You can park there off, you know, keeping it clear. Just a couple of things if you are parking near the burger van. Just a quick one while I'm on that then. There is a burger van here. Dave's Burgers are amazing because they are locally sourced from local butchers. There's also Flint's ice cream as well. Do check that out as well. So Dave's Burgers, breakfast, brunch and lunch. It stays around at 3 o'clock, maybe 2, 3 o'clock, but we can't guarantee there'll be anything, you know, burgers left. It depends how busy it is. But there's also a new here is Flint's ice cream, a selection of gorgeous ice cream. Now, on the subject of clearing and keeping clear the road, there is a private road that goes beyond, and that needs to be kept clear. And to the left of that, before you enter there, there is an operational gate that is an access gate for the base. So under no circumstances do you block that. You will be asked to move, but you don't want to be that person, right? You don't want to be that person. Little other housekeeping, please don't touch the fence and rest your ladders on the fence. It is dangerous for you to have your ladders on the fence. One, it will damage it, but if you were to fall, there's barbed wire, and the first thing you're going to do is stick your hand out. And there has been an incident once where it ended up with a hospital trip. There are bins provided, but there are no toilets here, so you'll have to improvise, unfortunately. But there are bins provided. They can get full, especially on busy days, and especially nice days like this. And if days like this are busy, we always recommend to bring your own bag. You can pick them up for $1.99, 99p, $1.99 for a bag of 25 for those swing bin liners. They're handy because if you ever go on like little day trips somewhere and there's no bins, especially Lake District, Macleap, you can put all your rubbish in and take it home with you. Job done, right? There's that as well. Again, no drone zone. Be vigilant now, especially in busy periods. Be vigilant. Let's look after everyone. If you spot anything suspicious, what I'm saying is not the usual plane spotting questions, put it that way. We do live sadly in that world. Maybe one day we'll wake up, put the news on, and it'll just be happy news one day. You never know. But sadly, it's a rough ride at the moment, and we've got to be vigilant of what's around us. Anything suspicious, write it down, do it discreetly. I've always said that. I've always just don't get involved with these people. If someone's up to no good, just get in your car, move on, and just report it if you are, but of course, if it's an emergency, then call 999. There are signs with telephone numbers provided for those that you spot that are attempting to fly a drone, which would be absolutely illegal here. So there are numbers that can help. But of course, if you can't find a number, 999 it. Is what I'm saying. Laser pens, again, if you see anyone messing around with laser pens, it is illegal to aim it at a plane and a pilot, again. But yeah, let's keep it sweet and neat and look after each other and have fun, because that's what it's all about. And in these hot days, sunscreen and keep hydrated. I've got lots of water, yeah, just look after yourselves really, and we'll be all good. So yes, the news, 5 o'clock yesterday, I had a phone call to say, Nikos, you coming to Eastbourne, I've got you something. I'm like, okay. So I've managed to get a last minute accommodation, and I haven't recce'd it, but I've got access to a roof So I'm not sure about looking down how high this is, but never mind. I'll be there for Saturday and Sunday. I'm leaving tonight. I managed to get some ACOM so I can give you a bit of Eastbourne, which is going to mean 7 days of streaming. So I'll probably take 2 days off, Monday and Tuesday, just to chill. Yeah, I think why not give it a go? Give it a go. Why not? Yeah, I'll give it a shout. I'll try and make it work like I normally do. And we'll hope to give you a bit of Eastbourne while we're there. So last minute, and I felt bad. Oi, oi! I felt really bad because yesterday at Holbeach, someone asked me on the stream, "Are you going?" I said, "Unfortunately not," but only found out at 5 o'clock. So I put a post out to say, "Look, I'm going now." That was it. So wow, amazing how it can happen. It's not a case of racking up and stacking up. I do apply to some air shows and you get the no, you can get declined, or sometimes last minute something happens like that. So there we go, which I'm sure you won't say no to anyway. That'll be there. It'll be fun and done in the Ted Coningsby way, and wow, let's see what we're gonna get and have fun. So there we go. I hope you're all having a good time. I know there's lots of you going out to Eastbourne as well, so I hope you all have a good time. I am looking forward to it. But yeah, and I'll keep you updated when I get there, which I leave later on today, which is why I'm actually not too fussed if it is a half day. But what I will do, I'll probably finish as soon as these come back and get on to Eastbourne, because it's a bit of a trek for me to head down south, innit? That's a generic. It's got nothing to do with being down south, innit? Mind you, it sounds a bit like Drew now, doesn't it? I'm going to stop now before I dig a hole. Right, see ya. There we go. Right, let's have a bit more water. Hello. Hello. Whew. Wow, just noticed, I've just gone on the chats and there's been some absolute treats from everyone. From gifting memberships. Wow. Okay, Ted, up you get, mate. Well, thank you all very much for that.
That's a dragonfly, isn't it?
There was one over there.
Goodness me, wow. Lots of gifted memberships here that it's so nice when you do that. It's unbelievable. So, Alistair Goodwin, a high five, a salute there, and a paw pump. Thank you, and a fly past for gifting 10 Ted Coningsby memberships. Thank you very much, Alistair. A Guards March, of course. And then Alistair Goodwin, another high five, a salute, a paw pump and a fly pass for gifting another 20 Ted Coningsby memberships. Guards March to you for that one. Thank you so much, Alistair. That's very kind of you. And then joining in is Gary as well. So high five, paw pump, salute, fly past for gifting 10 Ted Coningsby memberships. Wow, that's incredible. Guards March to you for that. Thank you very much. And then Neil gifting a Ted Coningsby membership as well. High five, Guards March. Thank you for gifting a Ted Coningsby membership. Neil Davis as well. Welcome, high five. Welcome to the Ted Coningsby Posh Officers Club. Julie with 25 months membership. Keep up the good work, Ted and Nikos. Thank you very much. And celebrating 2 years is Simon Davis, member for 24 months. Oi, oi, morning all. Martin Turtle, thanks for your 9 months membership. Happy Friday, people. Ready for a great show again. Andrew Heatley, congratulations on your first year of membership. My first 12 months of Ted. Thank you very, very much. And Matthew Hayes, oi, oi, can you say hello to Jane Hayes for me, please? She loves the F-35s. Guards March. And I'm glad she likes the F-35s because they are nice. Mark Moody, and Guards March to Mark Moody for the super chat. Thanks very much for this week, Nikos and Ted. You've really helped me, as you always do. Oh, bless your heart. Thank you very much, Guards March. Pat Galloway, thank you very much for your 18-month membership, Guards March. Amazing 18 months it's been. Loved every minute of it. Thank you, everyone. Paul M. Ennings, high five, Guards March, who's here, live and live. Thanks for gifting the Ted Coningsby membership. Paul Judd, member for 12 months. Congratulations on your first year. Great to see you again. Great to see you too, man. Sally Cullenwood, 26 months with lots of hearts and bears emojis. Perez Matman Bush, who's part of our fighter squadron, and Spanner Flight has just reached 2 years of membership. Guards March to you, who's put wowzers. What a fantastic 2 years it's been. So good to be a member of the TCS and make such great friends in this community. Ted Coningsby, thanks for giving me the opportunity to serve on the Spanner Flight. Ah, yeah, and a Guards March to you. And Muzz, thank you very much for the super chat. Guards March, this is quite obviously the kindest, warmest channel I've ever known of. Great job, Nikos, Claire, Ted, Spanner Flight, and all the rest of you. Thank you very much, Guards March. Nick, high five, a Guards March to you. Thank you for gifting a Ted Coningsby membership. And also, have I counted them all right? Another 20 Ted Coningsby memberships gifted by Alistair Goodwin. High five, Paul Pump. Salute, fly past for 20 Ted Coningsby memberships to Alistair Goodwin. Guards March, thank you very much for your support, man. Wow, there's a lot there. Ted does have his summer fur on, absolutely, there, Stu. Gucci Man, Blocks, Davey, Kevin, L, how you all doing? EP65, Kevin, Chalkley, how you doing? LEJ Approach, Doctor, Karen Utting, Asperd, Big Sai with the Outdoor Ops, Dieter, how you doing? We've had F-15s with all quick climbs and 2 F-35 quick climbs and 4 F-35 local climbs. So what's that? 4, 6, so 12. 6 and 6 if I got my maths correct. Yeah, when it gets double figures, we've lost.
I can't see any damage on the back of it. I'm actually looking at it.
Right, so we're just gonna wait to see if we're gonna get any circuits on the way back. But it's been I've managed to get 5 streams, but we're actually gonna end up doing, hopefully, fingers crossed, 7 now. There we go, an extended week, extended play week of the TCS. How about that? So I'll just show you what I've been working on, ladies, gents and teddy bears. I don't know how clear it's going to be. It's not quite finished yet, but I'll explain. And it was thanks to our good friend It was on the show yesterday very briefly. I think it was put out yesterday. Now it might not make sense at the moment, but primary radar here, you've got the secondary surveillance radar, you've got your ADS-B receivers, and something new that I've been studying now, just very briefly, the WAM, the wide area multi-alteration, which I haven't finished yet, which I'm working on, and it is a very good system. It's something, you know, I'm quite used to telling you about the SSR and how that works, how if you go below radar, why you can't be picked up. There's our primary radar, our secondary surveillance radar, ADS-B receiver, which uses GPS satellites, and the new interrogation system, which is similar to ADS-B. It kind of works out, it's like a configuration where it works out the distance of the signals received, but I'm going to go into that very shortly. But it's how the aircraft can appear on a radar, and also with ADS-B transmission using mode S, and why transponder codes or squawk codes are vital and important. For those that missed the talk, I'll explain now. So we've got ourselves an SSR, which I believe are been phased out in the UK. We're going to have something different, but I'm going to show you that how things appear on a radar. This is not ADS-B as in your app or your flight radar, but I'll explain that and why things show up on ADS-B and why they don't. It's all to do with data, all right, not to do with the transponder, all right, and the reasons behind a transponder. Right, let's have a little chat, shall we? Let's do this. Let's ride. Right, ladies, gents and teddy bears. So what I'm going to do, right, here's our aircraft. Right, we'll go with an F-35 because everyone keeps saying you can't see the F-35Bs on ADS-B. It's because the transponders are off. Not quite, and that's incorrect. The transponders are always on, okay? You cannot fly without your transponder off. You can't fly with it. Because why? Well, we've all got scanners here. We've all heard squawk code. Now, squawk codes, they don't have an 8 or a 9. They're a 4-digit number. Why do we have squawk codes? What are they? What do they mean? It's a form of aircraft management. It's data, and it uses transponder mode S. Now, this is how it normally works with the SSR, and I'm just having a look in the corner of my eye. I've got a delivery. Hang on. Oh, thank you. Thank you very much. You're welcome. So, transponders got 2 words: transmit and respond. Okay, that's why it's called a transponder. Okay, it's like a keypad, 0 to 7, and each one means different things. Why? Because each squawk code means a particular aircraft and air management. It's to do with managing the aircraft to let it know the data of what it's doing. So for example, north we've got Barnsley, we've got Bulmer, we've got Swanwick around the London military areas. There's different radar services, so each squawk code means different things. So if you were this F-35 about to take off, the air traffic controller would give you a squawk code, 0405, for example. It's just I made that up. If there was 2 of you, you go 1 digit up, 0406, and the next one 0407 if you were that flight, okay? Because if you're going low level, you have to key in the squawk code 7001. That's the low level squawk code. Why? Because that tells air traffic controllers the data it needs to know what it's doing. So here we go. So transponder code keyed in, 0405, pings to that SSR, which now is the WAM, which I'll get to in a moment, but this is how it works. And then it goes back to the aircraft and then pings to ATC. All right, that's giving them information such as altitude, using the transponder mode S. It gives the altitude, it gives the speed, it does all that via the transponder. It relies on the transponder. Now, a primary radar doesn't rely on the transponder. It doesn't need it. It doesn't need a transponder on. So even if you turned it off, the primary radar actually sends a multi-direction of radio waves. All right. Now, depending on the radar's cross-section, That is when it gets picked up and goes back to air traffic controller. It doesn't have data like mode S does. Okay, what it does, it tells them all that data, and it doesn't have a squawk code with that. It doesn't tell them any of the data. It's picking up the aircraft regardless. May not give them any data, which is why, and a very, very good question that was raised the other day. Okay, in QRA, if the Tupolev was flying, the Bear flying with no transponder on, which they don't have them on, how are we picking them up then? Because the primary radar can, because it's just sending out radio waves and waiting for it to come back. Now, primary radars, SSRs, are dotted about the country, even the new WAM, which I'm learning, and you know, it's they're dotted about the country. Okay, now here is ADSB. Now we're going to talk about the automatic surveillance. No, hang on a minute, I forgot the word. Automatic dependent surveillance broadcast. There's an in and an out. Now this doesn't need a transponder. It doesn't need it. This uses GPS, satellites in the sky. So remember my drawing. Now we've all got, most of us have got Apple Watches and Garmin watches and watches with GPS. It's using satellite, but the thing is, there are receivers on the ground. Now this is similar to the multi-area, multi-alteration. There are receivers on the ground. The aircraft, modern aircraft now have an ADSB receiver in and out. It is basically data, so it sends to the GPS in, and there's an ADSB out, which then pings onto ADSB receivers and the air traffic controllers. There is a problem because there are areas where there's no ADSB receivers to pick it up, such as the oceans. Why is it when you get a tanker going across the Atlantic, it then disappears? GPS coverage, my friends. And have you noticed when an aircraft goes low level, it's not on ADSB anymore? What's going on there? Because the receivers are pointing up. It only works effectively at a certain height. If it's going through a mountainous region, it hasn't got a hope. But this is where WAM is going to take over, and this is where, thank you to Monka for that, the wide area multi-alteration. It's got a set of receivers on the ground, and what it does, because they're on the ground and they can work in mountainous areas, which they're going to basically cover the areas where ADSB receivers can't work, it's going to be able to pick up all aircraft. Why can't you see an F-35? Because they've turned off the data. They've turned off their ADSB data off. You can do that, and you can control that and submit. It's called LAD via the FAA. So you can, that's why. So transponder on or off, you can still see aircraft on air traffic controllers. The reason why you can't see aircraft on ADSB, and sometimes you can, it's either to do with the disable of the data, or they're in an area not covered by GPS, or there's some glitchy GPS areas. And that's why the Tornado used to go low. That's why radar points up. If you go below the radar frequencies and its coverage, that's why you can't be picked up by even the primary radar. So if you go back to my little drawing, if you are a Tornado going this height, you ain't going to get picked up by the radar. You're too low. And that's why, my friends. That is why, because there's an ADSB separate receiver. So I'm now learning about this this wide area multi-alteration, which I was told yesterday is basically phasing out the SSR, which is this. And that's what an SSR looks like. Hope that made a little bit more sense. I think I probably told you it better yesterday. But I think it's because I'm adding new things to it. So what's going on here? This is the there's our squawk code. There's our transponder sending out mode S, the squawk 0405 to the SSR. It talks back, that connection goes straight to air traffic controller. All right, and it gives them the height, gives them the altitude, the speed, you know, that kind of thing, and the squawk code. So it's really important. So squawk codes are a management, are a form of air traffic management, the squawk codes. So each radar in the country has a specific code so that they know what the aircraft is doing. That is the whole point of the squawk code. What is this aircraft doing? We are managing it. So this is where the WAM takes over. Primary radar here, this sends out, it doesn't rely on a transponder, it sends signals everywhere. And if this is an F-35, we may get a signal probably about the size of a golf ball or something. So, and then it connects to the ATC. Remember, ADSB uses GPS, like your watch, and all the signals down. But if it's in a mountainous area and it's gone low, it ain't gonna pick it up anywhere. Or you don't want your data, because it is, I was learning about encryption on it as well. There's an ADSB in and out, and the data management. There's all these companies, such as, I think it's Skybrary or something, and there's a few brands. So you're gonna get ADSB receivers on the ground, and they basically pass that information and data. So because it's data and data management, you can actually turn that off at your discretion. So that's why. So transponder has got nothing to do with ADSB in that regard, that you can't see it. It's the data that's been turned off. If you turned your transponder off, you are then going to become a little bit invisible if you're like, let's say, a piper. It's very dangerous to fly without it, because you can't manage that aircraft, and it can, of course, cause collisions. Why would you turn your transponder off? If you're a civilian airliner, exactly. It's got data on there, you know, you're refusing to be managed. So that's why it's a dangerous thing to do. Right, just gonna have a bit more water. Ah, got some food in. Go on, why not? I bet it tastes good with the donut as well. Thanks, man. Thank you. Yes. How was it? All right?
Yeah, some serious those 4 F-15s that went up proper.
Good.
Yeah. We're going to head home, mate, because
Okay, buddy,
the
yeah.
traffic's going to be bad today. So,
Oh no.
yeah.
All right.
Right, might see you at the gig.
Yes, thank you very much. You take care, yeah?
Don't let me buy that picture again. If I'm a bit tipsy and I get...
Oh no.
Yeah, get in drunk, you buy anything.
Oh. Well, safe journey back. Good to see you. And thanks for doing that, buddy. Now, you take care. See you, mate.
Would you guys like me to move over so you got my space? Sure.
How we doing, ladies, gents, teddy bears? Hope we're all good. So we're just waiting for the aircraft to return, which could be any time. There is no set time. And of course, don't forget to smash that like button as well. Give us a thumbs up. Oh yeah. Welcome to RAF Lakenheath, ladies, gents, teddy bears. Hope we're all good and well. Tell you what, looking like a nice can of Coke, is there? Or Pepsi even. Tasty.
Good as new, that.
You wouldn't actually say you wouldn't.
To be fair, I put it on there very good. I mean, look.
We went. Are we going to wait till the band?
Yeah, I'll go.
Hello. Yeah, okay.
That's a good thing because you find so much stuff and it's like that when we're walking. We're fine in London, but when we're walking.
So, ladies, gents, teddy bears, let's go back a little bit in time. I'm going to show you a couple of things. You know how it is.
We're driving in that, but under the...
I'm going to buy a new scooter.
I mean, that's where you sit still.
Just going to show you something. So, of course, the latest and greatest aircraft based here is, of course, the F-35A. This is the latest and greatest. £18,000 on their way with £18,000. But, ladies, gents and teddy bears, 1940, number 20 operational training unit arrived with this, with £4,500 twin engine, the Vickers Wellington bomber. Now, before I go into too much detail, we do have aircraft coming back, but this was the first to operate here. The base completed in 1940 and started life out as a Royal Air Force station, a satellite station to RAF Middleton. Well, Middleton was built in 1934, as you know, which is about 5.5 miles the way the backwards crow flies in this direction. In 1934, with the operating the Handley Page Hayford bomber, which I need to go and get the fact sheet for that. And to my right, at my 5 o'clock, another 5.5 miles in the direction of the backwards crow, is RAF Feltwell, which opened and operated the Harrow and then eventually the Vickers Wellington bomber as well. Middleton Hall also operated the Vickers Wellington in 1938. Like I said, a twin engine bomber. And here we go, here comes the latest. The F-35's at Point Charlie. Big shout out to the Point Charlie crew. We'll talk about the Wellington a bit later on. going up into high key, which is 10,000 feet, to simulate a flame out.
Are those ear mufflers working?
Oh, something coming.
When it went boom, I was straight in the Oh, let's
Just at the end of the trees there.
Here we go. See it?
I think they're going on up there. No, there's that.
You like them on, don't you?
Okay, here we go. done.
That was really cool, wasn't it? It's working.
I can't see it.
Coming!
Can you hear something?
Yeah. Got a needle in the haystack, yeah.
Oh, the butterfly!
How we doing, ladies, gents and teddy bears? So yeah, where was I? I was on the Vickers Wellington bomber, and it's an absolute gem. So if you don't know much about it, this was the first aircraft to actually operate here at RAF Lakenheath. And for those that are wondering the use of the base, of course, from 1948 it was a United States Air Force base from 1948. So built and operated by the Royal Air Force, and first residence was actually number 20 operational training unit. It came all the way from RAF Lossiemouth with this, and makes sense because 5.5 miles in the direction of the backwards crow flies in this direction is RAF Middleton, that was built in 1934, and eventually in 1938 they were operating the Vickers Wellington bomber. And to my right at my 5 o'clock, they too opened as a Royal Air Force station in 1936, operating the Harrow and eventually the Wellington bomber as well. So it was kind of fitting to have a training unit here right bang in the middle. The other thing to note is that the base here at Lakenheath received its operational units, but it functioned as a satellite station to Middleton, so it was under its command. I think it was a couple of others, I think Tuddenham and I think Newmarket. I always get Downham Market and Newmarket mixed up, so I do apologise for that, but it was one of those two. Maybe I should find out very shortly to save correction. Now, the Vickers Wellington bomber, a very clever twin engine bomber, because it was made as in the airframe designed by Sir Barnes Wallis. And the airframe, you're probably wondering why I'm zoomed in on this fence, because the airframe was made like this. Oh, we may have something nearby. What was that? Sounds like an aircraft nearby. So that was the geodetic airframe. You could see like little examples through the window, look, which will give you the idea of the geodetic airframe. Why in that construction? Well, the clever design by Barnes Wallis made this very easy to assemble and also very easy to repair in battle damage. I don't know if many other aircraft followed through with the geodetic airframe, but nevertheless this was made in the mostest, so they made over 11,400 of these, the record for the Royal Air Force bombers of that time, the most produced aircraft of the Royal Air Force in World War II. And it was made in 16 different variants, and a lot of the marks favoured the Bristol Hercules engines, although I do believe the Mark 1 potentially started with, if I remember correctly, the Mark 1C Wellington actually operated first the Pegasus engine, which was rated at 1,050. Had a bomb load of 4,050. It did have guns, 6 to 8 303 machine guns. It had a crew of 5 or 6 with a length of 64 feet 7 inches. That's 19.69, with a wingspan of 86 feet 2 inches. That's 26.26 meters. So that was our Vickers Wellington bomber. It did serve well here, but one of the most favourable stories happened in early summer of 1943 at a factory that's still functional today, Airbus in Flintshire. I know, LN514. Something's making some happy noise up there. LN514, ladies, gents and teddy bears. This particular, not this one I'm holding, but LN514 was a record breaker. You see, in America, the world record to assemble a bomber took 48 hours. Well, the Vickers Armstrong manufacturer thought, do you know what, let's try and beat the world record. Oh, it was Newmarket Heath. Thanks a lot, Perry, who's just informed me of that. Thank you. The satellite stations to Middleton Hall were Lakenheath, Newmarket Heath and Tuddenham. That's the one. So it was Newmarket. Thank you. So yes, what happened in summer of 1943 at this branch? They decided to set a world record by beating 48 hours to assemble a bomber and then fly it. The world record then set in America was 48 hours. The Vickers Armstrong branch thought, you know what, we'll do it in 30. So they set off, and I've seen a black and white video of this happening. Even women coming up all dressed up at 3 in the morning from a party. They were all chipping in, men and women working round the clock throughout time. Now, the bomber was constructed in just 23 hours and 53 minutes, right, and took off an hour later. That is remarkable. They completely beat the previous record of 48 hours, and it was constructed at Vickers Armstrong's factory at Broughton, Flintshire. The record attempt was an idea of the government to boost morale, is what I could find, and it was amazing in that, and I've seen the video to it. And when it was being towed out at 23 hours 50, there was a man on the top there just doing just finishing touches, and they had to wake up the pilot because they were 7 hours early. So I'm sure that went pretty well, but it was a great record attempt, and it was something that they should be proud of, to make something like that in just 23 hours 50 to assemble it, and an hour later get it flying. That's amazing. In fact, the Vickers Wellington bomber was made at a rate of 28 a week on these. The Mark II, I believe, featured a Rolls-Royce Merlin engine. Marks 3 and 10 had the more powerful Bristol Hercules. It served well, it had a good reputation, and of course the Air Ministry and the Bomber Command did require eventually a 4-engine bomber. Now, just to give you an idea of the second bomber that was operating here, which was indeed a 4-engine bomber. Operating here with 149 and 199 Squadron, ladies, gents and teddy bears, the short Stirling bomber, which we've spoken about and also myth busted with the regards to the Air Ministry specification. There is a myth about the wingspan being sort of restricted to 100 feet because of the hangars being restricted to 100 feet, which really doesn't make sense. There were aircraft with wingspans more than this, more than 100, and I'll explain why. So that was a myth bust straight away. I mean, the B-17, the Halifax and the Lancaster, you know, 102 foot, 104 foot, that's way over 100 feet. The Sunderland, although it was a flying boat, there were others that would exceed that. I mean, later on, the Avro Lincoln was, what, 120 feet wingspan, so it didn't make any sense. But what I will tell you, when they were designing this, there was a specification set out, and it did say not exceeding 99 feet, right? Now, it was an Air Ministry specification. It was called B12/36. B12/36. For those that don't know about the Air Ministry specifications, each letter means different things. B was heavy bomber, P was medium bomber. There was E for experimental. There was different letters. They meant different things. And when you are designing an aircraft, you can actually get a specification from the Air Ministry with an operational requirement. Basically, the Air Ministry could set out, hey, a bit like the F-15 story that I mentioned earlier, you know, back in the 60s, there was a requirement for a single-seater air superiority jet with a thruster weight of 1.1 or exceeding 1.1, yeah? So it wasn't like, I'm going to build an aircraft, give it to the Royal Air Force, see what happens. It wasn't quite like that, although you could actually design something and propose it to the Air Ministry, and if they're happy, they can actually give you a specification. Now, it was numerical, so that B12 meant that there was 11 more before that, but they could be different letters. The /36 meant that it came out in 1936. Now, the short Stirling bomber was an S, it was called the, before it actually got the name, was the S-29. But there was actually going to be a Supermarine bomber. Did you know that? So, Roy Chadwick, the main designer of Supermarine, designed to that specification B12/36. All right, so it was given to Supermarine and the Shaw brothers, and they were both exceptional 4-engine bombers. They wanted a 4-engine heavy bomber. That's what the Air Ministry wanted. It had specifications. That specification required a certain amount of payload, so 14,000 pounds. It had to have a particular speed as well. It had to have a cruising speed. It had to have a particular max speed. All right, so there was, and for some reason in that requirement said not exceeding 99 feet. Don't know the story behind that. Probably because just to keep some of the not to make too large aircraft. I mean, let's face it, this was a beast, okay? But it was restrictive, but it was a good thing as well. It did have some positives. There is a plane having a good time up there. So Supermarine designed something with Bristol Hercules, and then they were going to do a real beast called the Supermarine 318 with Rolls-Royce engines or Packard engines, but they decided to not go ahead with that and stick with the 317 because they felt that the 318 was too powerful for it. So we needed a 4-engine bomber. We had the Hampdens, we had the failed Avro Manchester, we had which got ditched in 1942. They scrapped it in the end. It was operational, but they got rid of it. So the Supermarine 317 actually got the go-ahead. So they made 2 prototypes. It was 4 engines. I've got the details somewhere written down. There's not much on it, but there were 2 prototypes. But sadly, R.J. Mitchell, the main designer of Supermarine, sadly he passed away, and the 2 prototypes that were going to actually become our new 4-engine bomber, our first heavy bomber, they got bombed. The factory got bombed, and that was the end of that. And because their main designer, R.J. Mitchell, because he sadly passed away, they couldn't do it. So they gave the contract to the Short brothers. It was called the S-29 and eventually called it the Short Stirling. Now, there's something clever about the Short Stirling bomber, all right? And that is the fact that it had these gouge flaps on it. They can actually retract. So they thickened the wings because of the short wingspan at 99 feet. They shortened them, all right, but they added these gouge flaps that can actually retract. So if you don't need any more lift, you can actually retract them to make the wings even thinner, to give it, I guess, a lower stall speed probably. But hey, guess what? Although it was an absolute beast in length and with a height of almost 7 meters, it was able to outmaneuver that Lancasters and Halifaxes couldn't do. It couldn't maneuver like a fighter. It could outmaneuver the ME-110s, for example, if it got attacked. Pilots loved its maneuverability. However, because of the sheer size of it in relation to the wings and its 14,000 pound of payload, which I may add was a massive weapons bay here, with 2 small ones just on the inside of the wings here. One problem: When they designed the bomb bay here, there was actually 2 dividing doors, so you could actually have a row of 3 bombs. The problem was they could only fit a 2,000 pound bomb max on each one of these, 2,000 pound max. The problem is they were making 4,000 pounder, 6,000, 8,000, 12,000, even right up to the 22,000 pound Grand Slam, right? Probably wouldn't be on this, but anyway. The problem was you couldn't fit it because of those, and it must have been something that was too much to do to get rid of it. So the Short brothers took their Short Sunderland and actually took away the bottom deck, kept this angle here that the Sunderland had. If you have a look at the Sunderland, it looks very similar to this. And I was also thinking, you know, you've got to be careful how you word this, because that was technically a 4-engine bomber. Royal Air Force, Coastal Command, probably. But saying that, it wasn't a heavy bomber. So the Short Stirling was in fact the very first 4-engine heavy bomber. Now, with all this payload at 14,000, could do speeds of about 282 miles per hour. There was one problem: fully loaded, fully fueled, can only get you to 16,500 feet service ceiling. Not so good if you're going through the Alps. It would be a pretty bumpy ride through the Alps. If you're in a Halifax or a Lancaster, you'd be all right about 22,000 feet service ceiling. So this became eventually in 1943 the bomber that didn't bomb, and the reasons behind that was because of the very low service ceiling. When you progress to the Halifax, when they started to develop that better, because it had teething issues, when the, you know, you got to remember, you got to give credit to the Lancaster. It was perfectly made, beautifully made, with a lot of bombs on it. And so therefore in 1943 they decided to use this, but as a towing aircraft, to tow the Horsa gliders. Because it was capable of carrying 14,000 pound of payload, it was going to be no problem to carry 28 troops and tow a glider. So it was very effective. It was actually, if you think of the performance wise of what it's supposed to do, it was actually more effective than the C-47. So that's what that used. It also carried SOE missions as well, to take spies. It also took part in Operation Glimmer, dropping window, which is like bits of metal that they dropped to full enemy radar, which played a major part in Operation Glimmer on the leading up to D-Day. The tanks as well were quite fascinating, not unique to this, but when I watched the video on making a Stirling, what was really amazing was the self-sealing tanks when shot at. I always thought this when aircraft used to get shot in the wings. What they did, there was an extract that I found of a bomber, a silhouette of a bomber, with red dots of where it was mostly hit, and it was mostly along here. So they concentrated on trying to come up with an idea to protect the fuel tanks, and the fuel tanks were self-sealing. I know, right? It had layers of rubber, layers of this like tar, this tarry material, and then another layer of this rubber silicon type of material. I will look into it a bit more detail, and I've seen them put it in a firing range and shoot it with a 303, and it would self-seal. So the first bullet would go through and it would react with this material, like almost like melted tire, and it would actually react with the heat and the fuel, and it would actually self-seal. So it was almost like going through some fibers, and it will self-repair and close on the way out. How amazing is that? I mean, what technology is it? So this was the one of 2 aircraft that were operating here with the Royal Air Force before the base closed in 1945. It was a major operation. It took nearly 2.5 years to reopen the base because they had to do a lot of modifications. Lakenheath was chosen as a VHB base, a very heavy bomber base, and the road that you see here, the A1065, the road there, there was no fence there, nothing, no fence here, not even here. It was all open. People could walk across it because obviously you got you got towns and villages nearby, and they extended the runway to have the B-29 bomber. and eventually it did open, just like Marham was selected and Sculthorpe. That's why they got some seriously huge capable runways to accommodate very heavy bombers. For those who don't know, it was the 7504th Base Completion Unit that arrived here as an air base squadron to open the base, and that was in 1948 and became a US Air Force base since then. Lakenheath's 48 Fighter Wing arrived in January, not the same year as the Beatles were formed in 1960. They arrived here with their F-100D Super Sabres. You can hear an aircraft having a good time up there. It's having a good time. But there you go. I'm going to keep it brief because I'm sure we're going to end it quite early today. Possibly in the next hour, I would have thought. What we on? Just the F-15s we're waiting for. So there we go. It's just a little bit of insight. Hope there was something new for you in there. Just trying to think of anything else I can do briefly before the F-15s come back. In fact, they were heading down my way, where I was born. Where are they? They gone low level? Probably gone low level. They've disappeared for a little bit. Yeah. Probably gone low level through Salisbury and stuff. Maybe, don't know. It looked like they were going southwest, back to Reggieland, in the woods. So, hello. So yeah, all is good. Yeah. So where was I? Yeah. So short Stirlings. Yeah, and of course the. If you remember, I said to you that also this vicinity here was a decoy airfield as well, which we spoke about. Now, as it's VJ Day today, I'll tell you a little story. It's not quite related to VJ Day, but it will tie in with a remembrance and a hero of RAF Lakenheath, and I'm quite proud to own a nice Corgis aviation archive of it. I can't bring it here because it's just too precious. It's too precious, but I need you to feast your imaginative minds. I want you to go back in time, ladies and teddy bears. I want you to go back into the night of the 28th. I want you to go back, if you can, 28th of November 1942. In fact, if you give me a moment, I'm going to find out what the moon was like. I know it sounds silly, but I want to really paint this picture for you, if that's okay. I'm going to have a quick look, if that's all right. I'm going to have a little look because I want to paint a picture. There was a waning gibbous. Oh, okay, cool. Hold fire on that one. Hiya, thank you very much. Oh, thank you. Thanks, man. You all right? How you both doing? You okay, yeah?
I think you're dreaming about an ice cream.
Where have you been? All right, was it good?
Ice cream.
Good. Oh, that's good. I know, man. Still going. What's that? 1,000 nights. Brilliant. I'm going to go and get a tissue quickly. Oh, I've got me. I've got me. I know what will happen, you see. Yeah, it just keeps going, man. You liking it? I'm back to give a real cool bit of history now. About someone that was based here. It's quite a lovely story. You can go and visit his grave at Beck Road Building Hall. It's very moving. Legend. Thanks, man. Yeah, he's good. Yeah. Is that from the Flint? Is that from Flint? Yeah, he's a legend. He's new. He's a permanent fixture. Mm. Yeah, how was Mallorca? All right. Oh my word, a bit too much, isn't it? Came here to cool down. It's been pretty lucky. Yeah. All good. Mm. Yeah, I don't know what's up there. Somebody's having a good time. I can't even see it. That's nice, yeah, she's good. Yeah, she's alright. We're going to Eastbourne in a bit. We're done from here. Mm. Yeah, so we'll do Eastbourne and then... no, I've got somewhere else. On the roof. At the last minute, literally. Found out yesterday, 5 PM. I'm like, okay. Try and find accommodation on an air show weekend. But I found it.
You see me because they shot her.
Yeah, it'd be good. Oh, that's right. Where's that butterscotch? Alright, good. How's the Dutch going? Alright? Yeah, good. How old are you now? 13. Oh. You know what you want to do? Yeah. Nice.
They end up lost them to clone. The clock their own clone. Yeah, I'll already live. Most of the shop Middleton, they fly over my garden.
Good. You too. You do. Nice one. Thanks, man.
So I was very much the Iran then it proceeded to Marshall's
Sorry about that. I just needed to say hello and have some lovely ice cream there by Flint and little HBC TV. There they are, the legends. And all is good to you both. Right. Right, ladies, gents, teddy bears. I want you to go back. Let's go back in time on the night on the 28th of November 1942. here in Lakenheath. 149 squadrons, short Stirlings, were off on a raid to the Fiat factories in Turin. Leading one of the short Stirlings was Australian-born Rawdon Hume Ron Middleton. He was born in July 1916 on the 22nd. He was a bomber pilot here at Lakenheath. He was originally at Middleton and before 149 Squadron moved here. And he was born in Waverley, Sydney, born at a Nurse Nettleton's private hospital, and he was in control in short Stirling Bravo Foxtrot 372, and his mission was to bomb the Fiat Aircraft Works factory at Turin. His short Stirling bomber, fully loaded, fully fueled, and yes, it was going to go over the Alps, his journey to there. The other thing, it was his 29th combat sortie. He was one short of the 30 required for completion of a tour, which would give him a mandatory rotation off combat operations. So he was in good spirits for this. So Middleton and his crew set off on the night 28th of November 1942. Mission heading for Turin to bomb the Fiat Works. Now, as they approached the Alps, it was a bit of a bumpy ride, for the short Stirling bomber was a little bit fully fueled and loaded, of course, but it had a low service ceiling at 16,500 feet. It was going to be a bumpy ride through the Alps, but nevertheless, as they got to the target, the weather deteriorated. Middleton couldn't see the target very well. Him and his crew, his bombardier was ready. They could see roughly where the target was, but it disappeared into the clouds as the weather was absolutely awful. So Ron did something that I've not really read too many times, but luckily, because of the short Stirling's manoeuvrability, because of its short stubby wings, it was able to turn and make another pass. They made another low-level pass, and I can hear an aircraft behind me. I thought they'd all gone back. I thought they'd all come back. Sorry about this. Ever not want low approaches. So Ron made another attempt, a second turn. The weather was so bad, but of course their mission was the Fiat aircraft plant, and again on the second run it wasn't good enough. Now don't forget, they were being met with anti-aircraft fire. They were being absolutely obliterated through aircraft fire. Now over the target they went again to try and get a lock on it, and sadly on the third pass Ron managed to get the target, but as he went round on his third attempt, anti-aircraft fire shattered right into the cockpit. And if you are queasy, please just turn the volume down just for this next bit. But the flak, the anti-aircraft fire, sorry, shattered the absolute insides of the cockpit. The shrapnel ripped right through Ron's right eye socket. It completely took out his right eye, shattered his face, bits of his skull. He had shrapnel through all of his limbs, his legs, his arms, and his co-pilot wasn't doing so good either. And sadly, the aircraft dipped into a dive. It was going down 2,000 feet, 1,000 feet, 600 feet. Ron manages to pull the short Stirling back, and even in that state, because he was going in and out of consciousness, he managed to take the short Stirling to the target and actually release the bombs and destroy the target. The way home wasn't going to be so good either, because the aircraft was met with more heavy anti-aircraft fire as it left Turin. As they managed to pull through the Alps, they used so much fuel. He told his men that he was going to get them home. He was dipping in and out of consciousness. His co-pilot was losing a lot of blood, and then it was time to make the ultimate decision. To get through over occupied France. They asked him, how much fuel have we got left? And because he had trouble talking because of his shattered jaw, he had a fractured jaw, he had one eye missing, he said, I'll get you home. But he said it in such a way that his next act was going to be an act of heroism, self-sacrifice and bravery, ladies, gents and teddy bears. As they went over to the, as they were over the English Channel, they only had about 5 minutes of fuel left. Ron was worried that if his aircraft was to run out of fuel, that he would endanger civilians, because his Stirling was going to land wherever. So as Ron approached the land, he did something remarkable. If this is the land of Britain, he decided to go parallel, kept it over the sea, and ordered 3 of his men to bail out. In fact, he ordered all of them. The reasons, so that it wouldn't run out of fuel and crash the aircraft, killing civilians. The first 3 bailed out and survived. The other 3 went next, and all they saw as they looked behind, the short Stirling dipped down with Ron with it. He was washed up in February on a beach on Dover, and you can find his grave in back row at St. John's Church here, nearby here. Lest we forget, ladies and teddy bears, of the heroism and the bravery and the sacrifice. So I'm going to tell you something I did, which I haven't, don't think I've told you this before, but I went, do you remember that day I was at Middleton, and I said his grave is just a few minutes away from the base, and you won't believe this, but when I went there, I made a little video for the anniversary, and I made a 2-minute silent Dance video that I'll release on the 29th of November. And you won't believe this, in those whole 2 minutes, Lakenheath were taking off. Now I find that symbolic, I just did it with my phone, and I could not believe it. So I find that quite symbolic that they did that, and they wouldn't have even known I was doing that. Also, ladies, gents, teddy bears, sadly two of the last two that bailed out didn't survive either. Still live at 12 o'clock. We will be observing our 2-minute silence for Victory of Japan Day. Yeah. Yeah, I had to break it 2 times because of the. I didn't realise they. I thought they'd all come back, the F-35. But yeah, that was Ron Middleton. Yeah.
It's two F-15.
Yeah, based here.
Coming soon, you think?
Do you know what? I forgot to say something actually about that. So he was awarded posthumously the Victoria Cross. So I forgot to mention that vital part. That was Ron. Yeah, it was BC. He got a Victoria Cross for it. Posthumously, bless him. Which is at the Australian War Memorial Museum in Australia. Just trying to find out whereabouts it is. I think it's at Canberra, the Australian War Memorial in Canberra. That's it. That's where it is. But his grave is here, at back row, at St John's Church. Yeah, there's all the others. It's quite a peaceful church. St John's, back row, and it is like this. Oh, it's very moving. It's very, I don't know, it's hard to explain. I think you need to be there.
Go on.
Yeah. Just 26 when he died. I mean, I'm thinking when I was 26 to make that decision. Yeah, yeah. I know. Amazing. So yeah, if you want to see the grave, it's at St John's at Beck Row, St John's Church, and like I said, apologies for Lakenheath flying, you know, but no, on a serious note, that's what he decided to do. It reminds me of the Mi Amigo story with the B-17 that was heading for a school and the pilot tried to avoid it. That's basically what Ron was trying to do. So the first 3 that bailed out survived when they parachuted, but sadly the other 3 or the other 2 didn't, unfortunately, and Ron went down with this aircraft, and his body was washed up 3 months later, and that was in February, but he was posthumously awarded the Victoria Cross for that brave act. Yeah, and that's going to be one of many stories as well, but this one's obviously unique to Lakenheath's RAF history as well. We mustn't forget these men, and you know, on an uplift, ladies, gents, teddy bears, you know, when we go to Coningsby and we see, you know, it is a QRA station, you know, don't forget that act of scramble is what they did in the World War II. All right, so that they're following the footsteps, the men at 29 and women, the men and women of 29 Squadron that are training to become frontline pilots, all the armourers that are on QRA, they're doing what they did in 1940s, ready to go, ready to protect UK airspace. And again, okay. Yeah, so, and here, air superiority, all this training, they're doing what their men did. Men and women today are doing what they did in World War II. Here we go, rack 'em up! So I'm pretty sure there are 6 that were expected. I think there were 6. Sweep. Charlie, here we go. Enjoyed these, hope you're all good. There should be another two. So yeah, these are our last. I did anticipate that we'd probably see the end before 12, and here we are. Was there 8? Was there 8? There could have been 8. I don't know, anything above 10, we kind of lose count, right? Okay, here we go. I believe this is our last one. Control, here we go. Nice way to end the day, but not the week, not for the Ted Coningsby channel, as we are now off to Eastbourne. I know, I'm going to be probably shattered by Sunday evening, but so I'm going to sort of pre-plan 2 days off. Monday and Tuesday. Just don't expect to stream Monday and Tuesday. Definitely not the Monday. I'll see how I feel, but I think we'll take a deserved 2-day break after a 7-day back-to-back. Hello, you're right. You're right. Yeah, okay, sure. Is that all right? Plain cheese. Go for it. Plain cheeseburger would be great. Yeah, is that all right? Thank you. Oh no, I've got pizza. Thank you. Cool. Right, that should be it. Okay, I think that is all our aircraft back. I think so. It's difficult, isn't it, after 10?
That's definitely all, they're all back. Use the toes.
Right. Sharon Chapman, thanks Lakenheath. 4 F-15s just come over, did they? Nice. Guards March. Margot Baxter, thank you very much for the super sticker. Alistair Goodwin, high five. Paul Pump, a salute and a fly pass. Thank you for gifting 10 Ted Coningsby memberships. That's amazing. Thank you very much. Nicola Brown, congratulations on your 12-month membership. What a fab year. Best channel ever, Guards March. Gary, high five. Paul Pump, thank you for gifting 5 Ted Coningsby memberships. And Gary, as you've just gifted another 5 Ted Coningsby memberships, we'll give you a high five, Paul Pump, a salute and a fly pass for technically making that 10. Guards March. Nick as well, Guards March, thank you, high five. Thank you for gifting the Ted Coningsby membership as well. Thanks everyone who's tuned in today. It's been absolutely fantastic. It's been incredible. Lynn Brown, Lynn Bone. Nikos, I've been watching your lost airfields on YouTube. Which one is the best? Which one is the best favourite? Oh, which one is your favourite lost airfield? Oh, that is. Well, I'll tell you what. For me, it's got to be Grafton Underwood. For that one, definitely. The 384th. Yeah, that's my favourite. I think so. Because you can go for a walk in the woods, which was, and I like the way they've done it. It's got a photo of what the cinema would have looked like, what all the buildings would have looked like, stuff like that. I think they've done a good job there. So you're walking in the woods, and there's evidence that there was a building, and they've got a photo of what it looked like. So you kind of let your brain and your mind go wild with that. So yeah. There's something about the 384th bomb group for me that, I don't know, just resonates with me. So thank you very much, ladies, gents and teddy bears. We are now complete. Right, let's wrap this up. Well, thank you very much, everyone, for tuning in. And it's not the end of the week for us now. We are now off to Eastbourne. I know, Ted, we're going to Eastbourne, mate. I know. If I don't say too much, I'll probably be running on adrenaline or something like that, making more randoms than I ever do. So thank you very much, RAF Lakenheath and the 48th Fighter Wing. Thank you so much for what you do. And all of our members and viewers, thank you very much. And we'll see you tomorrow, all being well. Now, I've not recce'd where we're going. I have no idea what it's going to be like up there. Let's just hope we can get a stream up there, yeah? But we have been approved to do it. So, ladies, gents, teddy bears, my name's Nikos. I've been your cameraman, historian and commentator. This is our squadron leader, Ted Coningsby. You've been watching the Ted Coningsby channel live here at RAF Lakenheath. So, for not the last time for the week, but last time for today, it is. See you soon. Wish you well. Take care, everyone. See ya. No, Ted, you can't have a go on that motorbike. Whew, hit the button, Ted, hit the button. Let's hit the button. Hello. That's fine. It's okay. Yeah, no, thank you.
See you next time.
Yeah, see you next time. Hello. You can. Give me 1 second.
Thank you. So it's just the best one, is
Oh yeah, ladies, sheds and teddy bears, welcome to the Ted Coningsby channel membership. I'm Nikos, I'm your cameraman and commentator. This is our squadron leader, Ted Coningsby. Just want to say a massive thank you to all our members. Guns up and oh yeah. Take it away, Ted. Ladies, sheds and teddy bears, we want to say a massive thank you to all of our subscribers for getting us to where we are today. We have gone all over the country, from as far as Lossiemouth to Bryce Norton, and military areas such as air weapons ranges, low flying areas, heritage centres and special flights for TED 2. We cannot do this without your support, and your support will be rewarded. You can now join the Ted Coningsby Squadron and help fund the channel to get us around the country and provide us with the funds for equipment to bring you better content too. We have 3 exciting membership levels with awesome YouTube perks to reward you back for your support. Our first level of membership is the Ted Coningsby Squadron. You'll get a loyalty badge on YouTube, unique TCS emojis that you can use on comments and live streams, members only videos which include behind the scenes, deleted scenes, sneak previews and also music videos that Ted likes to play the electric guitar on. You'll also get access to members only Discord server and discount on all of our Ted Coningsby merchandise. All of this for just $1.99 a month. Oh yeah. Our second level of membership is the Posh Officers Club. This includes all of the squadron perks, private Posh Officers Discord chat room, Posh Officers discounts on all of our Ted Coningsby merchandise, and the poshness of supporting the TCS even more. This is just £4.99 a month. Our third level was inspired by many of our fans who have been supporting the channel massively. So we'd love to reward you back with this, and our third level of membership is the Ted Coningsby Fighter Squadron. This gives you a more personal experience with me and Ted, with exclusive live streams and content. You'll get a free Ted Coningsby Fighter Squadron patch, a private Ted Coningsby Fighter Squadron Discord chat room, a gold colour Discord username, and a higher discount on all of our Ted Coningsby merchandise. All this for just $25.99 a month. Ladies, gents and teddy bears, the Ted Coningsby channel cannot thank you enough for all your support, and it's this support that keeps the dream, keeps the stream. Thank you so much. Oh yeah.
Sierra Golf India, Brian Circle 1, right to 813.
Well, very good.